And we are live. Hi. Sorry everybody. It's totally my fault. I started late. Wilmington traffic is so awful. 'Cause I used to live in Fayetteville here in North Carolina. I thought that was bad. Sorry for being late. We've got an awesome guest here, everybody. I want to thank everybody who was here last night with Gemma. That was an awesome show. And if you enjoyed that, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy our guest today. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her in. Everybody say hello to Jessica Jones. Hi
Hey,
Jessica.
y'all. Hey, Josh. Thank you for having me on today.
Hi, thank you so much. And I wanna say hey to people in the chat. I know other people are going to jump in here a little bit later. Hey Nightmare Man, what's up? Jacqueline, I don't think I've seen her before. Hi. I'm gonna sound so nervy saying this, but I love your name. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I always have
Oh,
been,
yeah.
and I think it's so cool that your name is Jessica Jones. Yeah, and I love your skull back there. By the way, that's
Oh,
so
thank you.
awesome, man.
Yeah, it's like my
Yeah, I
little
love skulls.
trademark now. Yeah, it's on all my shows.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. I'm gonna change the layout here really quick. I meant to do this before we got started. I'm so sorry. I came here just
Yeah. Take your
head to
time.
everywhere.
Look, I'm
That's
chilling.
better. All right, that's so much better. I
All
want to
right.
have time
Let
to
me
get
get
situated
situated.
and actually speak to you. Yeah, I want to say hello to you before we start the live stream, but it's nice to meet you though.
Hey,
Brian
it's nice
Dot
to meet you
Slot,
too.
Renzo. Yeah, some people are starting to jump in here. Um, and I want to start doing this thing where I start reading the introductions for people because I've been asking everybody to do this, and I had a paper written out for you and everything, but I just came in here like a chicken with its head cut off. So sorry, but if you don't mind, would you give like a quick summary of who it is
Yeah.
and I mean, who you are and what you do and how you
I
got into
think
this?
I think I know who I am and I can kind of tell you what I do. So yeah, so I know I'm kidding. I'm Jessica Jones, and I'm a paranormal field researcher, and I'm based out of Georgia. I'm on several different Bigfoot field research teams, and so I mostly do like Bigfoot field research. I've been doing it for about 11 years. Specifically the Bigfoot field research, and yeah, I have a show called Into the Portal. It's on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, and I do that every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I have it's mostly about cryptid research, and I have a lot of cryptid researchers on there, particularly Bigfoot. I've got the Bigfoot slant going on right now, but of course, I'm having this weekend. I'm having some ladies who are one of Katie Gabrowski is from MUFON, Colorado, and so I'm going to
Okay.
have, I have UFO stuff. And here's the thing about my Bigfoot field research, right? Is that through the research that we do, we find that it's not just Bigfoot out in the woods. We've had UFO encounters, ET,
Yeah.
portals, you know, everything, ghosts, and, any kind of
Right.
paranormal stuff, interdimensional stuff. It's all going on out in
So
those woods. Yeah.
so I guess you agree with me in the aspect that whether you're talking about UFOs or paranormal or I'm kind of new to the Bigfoot thing, but I'm open minded, but it's all connected. Even though some things might be a little separate, there's some kind of connected thread, right? That's what pretty much what you're saying.
Yeah, it to me, it's all kind of connected. I grew up seeing ghosts and things, and being fascinated with UFOs and black holes and astronomy of all sorts. And um, it to me, it's definitely connected. And I have mad respect for all the researchers out there that just research UFOs and that just research Bigfoot and just research ghosts and just research whatever, specifically. It's good to be laser focused on one thing, but in my experience, it's everything, and my teams are very open minded about that, and we all think we all. Well, I'm not going to say we all think the same way, but because we're all very different in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but we're all on the same page that it's more than just one phenomenon. It's a whole bunch of
Right.
stuff, and it's all separate, but it's combined at the same time.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
so
probably
it's
something
important
bigger
to
than.
explore
I'm
all of
sorry.
it.
Right.
I'm sorry, what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying exactly. I got the same mindset, and I want to say I'm new into all this, so I don't want I don't want to talk about myself because sometimes I'll run off, talking. But just a little over a year ago, I was a skeptic. I think I might have mentioned that to you privately, and I'd had some experiences before, but I was just kind of in denial about it. Trying to tell
Yeah.
myself it didn't happen, but it got undeniable, and I started getting stuff on film. I showed you some of the old videos, and
Yeah.
I went really quick. I've said this a few times. People might get tired of hearing me say, it, but I got past the nuts and bolts, as they say, really quick. And I do
Yeah.
think that there are things that could just be nuts and bolts, like technology, people from other planets
Yeah.
or whatever. But I think anybody that looks into this deep, um, for me, it was like whenever I started seeing orbs materialize out of thin air and dematerialize. That's when I'm like, okay, I can't just explain that, just by
Yeah.
the logical thinking. And so what you're saying, I totally agree. And real quick, one more thing. I'm a quarter Blackfoot Native American. When people started, it started like UFOs, then paranormal with Skinwalker, and then learn about like psychics and the government, and then people started telling me Bigfoot, and I'm like, really? Are you gonna
Yeah.
tell me like the tooth fairy is real next? But no, I didn't even know it because I believe now. I'm so open minded. I didn't know that Sasquatch is so deep into a Native American culture.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. And I'm sorry, I know that was a lot.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm on the same mindset with you, and I think it's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah.
especially
Well,
you said y'all are all kind of unique. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, well, speaking of Native Americans connection with Sasquatch, I have friends in up in Cherokee, North Carolina, who are elders of the Cherokee tribe, up there, and they took me. Actually, one of the gentlemen, uh, he is the person that everyone on the reservation calls when there's a Bigfoot sighting. And so
Mm,
he took me and my folks that were with me. We spent camped out for a weekend with them on top of the Sacred Mountain in North Carolina, and
that's awesome.
he took us all over Cherokee, showing us where the Bigfoot sightings had been. And not only did I get to see all the Bigfoot stuff, I got to experience it while we were camping out. It was a little bit creepy. Okay, this was 9 or 10 years ago when this happened, but and also we watched UFOs flying over our heads all weekend, and it's what they refer to as the sky ships over Cachers. So if anyone is
Yeah,
familiar with Cachers, North Carolina, you'll know the sky ships over Cachers. And so
that's
and
awesome.
you're from North Carolina, right, Josh?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said
I was about
Wilmington.
to say,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, one of my
Mhm.
best friends, Amanda. Shout out to Amanda. I'm going to have you watch this later. She lives in like Wrightsville and Wilmington area. So over
Okay,
at the
yeah,
beach.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So cool.
awesome.
But yeah. But there's a
And you
lot of
already answered.
activity in North Carolina, man. Lots of it.
I was gonna say if you answered one of my first questions already, and I don't remember if you said you were psychic. I think you did. Maybe you're already getting to it. No. I was
Well,
gonna ask
yeah.
you if you knew about Sasquatch in North Carolina because I know there's orb activity here for sure, and I've seen one craft. But so yeah, you already answered that. What was the name? I want to write that down actually
Yeah.
real quick.
Okay.
The
So it's
skyship thing.
sky ships over cashers. There's a website. Okay. And it's just sky ships over cashers. And I absolutely 100% recommend looking it up. I watched it. I watched the sky ships all weekend.
Can,
And
can
yes,
you
it is
spell
a
that?
thing.
Can you spell
Sky
Casper thing?
cashers, Cashiers, like
Okay.
cashiers. Maybe it is cashiers. I
Okay.
say cashers.
Okay.
I'm just
I.e.
the
Okay.
Southern girl
Thank you so
from
much.
Georgia down here.
I'm glad I'm not the I'm so much of the time I feel like I'm the only one with a southern accent. I mean there's a few other people
Oh,
like
I
Thomas
got
and that,
mine comes
but yeah.
out. Trust me, it'll come out sometimes. It came out last night. I was doing an interview with my friends in Alabama, and yeah, I haven't watched that
Yeah.
yet, but I'm pretty sure I went there with my accent by accident. I didn't mean to.
All right, and accent by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. My mother was born in Georgia, by the way, and I've been there once. I've got a little bit of family in Georgia. I've only seen
Oh,
them like
cool.
one time. I gotta say, you got either some fans in the chat or some people that just maybe just found you and liked you. I don't know. Somebody up
Well,
here, who
hey
was it?
guys.
Somebody said, yeah, yeah, that southern accent's definitely coming out.
Hey.
It's awesome. Here it is.
Hey, y'all.
Enzo, Enzo, yeah, what you're saying, that Enzo said Jessica is fearless in the field. Well, I mean,
Oh,
Enzo, of
thank
course,
you. Thank you,
she's a
Enzo.
real life, she's a real life Marvel superhero, Enzo. I mean, you know she's gonna be fearless.
They did. They
um,
named that superhero after me. That was such an honor.
how did you feel about that, by the way? I didn't plan on
I don't
getting
know.
this, but
I actually kind of watched the show. I thought well, I mean, my name is so common. You know what I'm saying? Like there's probably 5 million Jessica Joneses in the United States. So,
you're
and
the
my
first time,
sister is
right?
Jennifer Jones. So it's like, the most common names ever. From back in the 70s and 80s, actually. So I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but you can guess.
Oh,
Uh,
I'm pretty
so yeah,
sure.
it was cool. I have some
That's
T-shirts that
awesome.
say Jessica Jones on them from the superhero, Marvel stuff. So that was
Oh,
kind of
really?
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I remember I was doing like a little bit of research on you before. I had to kind of, do it really quick and just skim through a lot of different things I was looking up on you. Yeah, I did a little bit, but I remember reading something, reading or watching. What said you and your team, your investigation team. I might not be wording things right, but y'all or somewhere that's comparable to Skinwalker. As I'm trying
Yeah,
to remember what it was. Can you explain a little bit about that and talk about that
absolutely.
experience?
Yeah, well, my teams, I work with a research. I don't say work because it's not like we're getting paid or anything,
Mm,
but we research several different areas, right? And
mm,
they all have similar activity, and they're all over the South, okay? And they're all undisclosed locations. We don't give our locations away. But the one that I'm referring to with the Skinwalker Ranch of the South, we refer it to it because of that, because one of my teammates, the head of my team, Trey Hudson, wrote a book called The Meadow Project: Explorations into the South Skinwalker Ranch. All right. And so we refer to it as the Meadow. Okay. But yes, we have everything from Bigfoot to alien activity, UFOs, portals. We have a portal, okay, that we have documented. And we call it a portal because we don't have another word for it to describe it. We don't really know what it is, but I can tell you about that in a minute.
I
And
was gonna say, so I was gonna say I heard your portal story with Dave
yeah,
Scott on Spaced Out Radio, and it was awesome. It was really trippy. No pun
yeah,
intended. I would love to
it
hear you
is
say that.
trippy.
I would love to hear that story. I'd love for you to tell everybody in the chat because I thought it was just wild, and it sounded like some stuff out of Skinwalker, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is not the first time my team has experienced a portal. We some of my team members had experienced one a few years ago, in a different location, with the same experience, but it just wasn't documented. So this one
Wow.
was actually documented. Okay, so to give a little backstory, my team has been researching this one particular area. We're going to call it the Meadow. And if you guys are familiar with Trey Hudson, who wrote that book, he's been on Coast to Coast AM, and he's made the rounds on a bunch of podcasts and stuff, and spoken at a bunch of conferences. So that's the head of my team, and we've been teammates for a long time. And he put a lot of our experiences from the field in that book. So if anyone's familiar with it, and if you're not, go to Amazon and go buy that book. So it's really good, actually. I'm Jessica
Tell me,
in the book, so
tell me
I play myself.
I love that. Tell me his
But
name again.
yeah, it's called
I'm writing things down.
the Meadow Project, and his name is
Okay.
Trey Hudson. Yeah. So that is that's our research, and that a lot of that is in his book. But anyways, but it's an ongoing investigation. We still research it. We're still researching it presently, and so we've been researching this area for a long time, and yeah, we go out in teams. Okay, we have one big team, but then once we go out into the field, we have to hike into this meadow, and we have a base camp. We always have somebody at base camp and doing the radios. We all carry our CB radios and whatnot, and we never go by ourselves anywhere in these woods. Okay, and so if you guys are familiar with the Missing 411 series with David Paulides, and you'll know that people go missing in the woods and with no trace whatsoever.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to get to that, Enzo. Yes,
Um,
it does move around. It did. Okay, but So everyone goes off into we break off into teams and like we cover different areas of the meadow. Okay, everybody's kind of you put position in different areas so we can kind of see what all's going on as far because there's so much stuff going on out there. We need the whole area covered, right? So that particular night that this portal showed up, there were some teammates that were on one end of the field and some on another and some on another. And one of the fellas that was out there had his thermal camera out, or his thermal. He wasn't actually recording that day, but
Right.
a big black box showed up in the middle of the field on his thermal. Now it was just like a huge square, which was really weird. It was like, what was that?
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, got excited there. Is it invisible to the naked eye though? You
Yes.
said you saw it in thermal. Okay.
Yeah, it was invisible to the naked eye. No one could see it, but you could see the heat signature on the thermal. And so after he was looking at it for a while, he was trying to figure out like, what in the world is this? So he had another team member look through his thermal and he was like, yeah, that's weird. So they sent 2 of our members over to it to check it out. Well, there were 4 of them close by, but 2 of the guys walked up to where it was and their heat signatures disappeared. It was like they walked into another, like into a box, a literal box, even though there was nothing there. So it was like another realm. They said that they couldn't see the stars anymore. And yeah, the whole environment changed. They said it was like walking through a black, like a velvet curtain, and the temperature changed. And instead of it,
I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. It's an awesome story. Sorry, I was just about to ask about the temperature. If y'all felt that, or did they say they feel like any kind of energy or anything?
I believe they said it was colder. Yeah, but they said it was just dark. If anybody's interested, you can go on my YouTube channel and on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting website. And I've interviewed the guys, one of the guys that went in there into the portal. His name's Bob Grumpy Wilson, and that's one of my interviews. And actually, it's on my YouTube page, on my channel. You can go. I have interviewed him, a full interview on site at the Meadow. So you guys are welcome to go check that out. My YouTube is Oracle of the South. So, anyways,
in the description, all the links that you sent me, your social, I believe I saw that something about a portal in one of the links. They should be in the description down below now. I updated it earlier, but that's somebody just asked a question earlier. I thought it was a pretty good question. God, where was it? Okay, right here. Heartless Meat says, "Do negative entities ever come out?"
Yeah, come out of what? Out of the portal? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there are negative entities. Absolutely. Yeah. There's
like coming out the portals though, like have you ever experienced that or have any reason to believe that happened? Or any kind of entities really, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, well, we only have that one portal on film, okay, like documented, right? It has not been released to the public yet, so nobody's really seen it other than our team. Okay. So not to say you guys won't see it in the future sometime, but just for now, I have not experienced anything super negative coming out of any portals that I know of. I mean, I have had one experience where there was something that I can't explain. Something screamed, like came into our base camp one night and did a god awful scream. And I don't think it was a Bigfoot. It definitely wasn't a human. It was definitely not any kind of animal I've ever heard. Now that leads us to the next question, like is whether Bigfoots are interdimensional, what's coming in and out of portals,
I was already planning on asking.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear this story, but that's something I've been planning on getting to because I feel like there's a little bit of a debate, and who knows, it could be both, or like just like we said earlier, something you can't even wrap your head around, I was gonna ask if you feel like Sasquatch or I had somebody personally tell me, I want to say, and I know he's an experiencer. I'm not going to say his name, but that Sasquatch are like nature guardian entity type beings. And whenever I started like doing some research in Native American, and like some of the tribes, they have like a little bit of differences. Like some of them kind of speak about them like they're a little more violent, but a lot of them they're more peaceful. But I wanted to ask you that, if you feel like they can phase in and out of reality, kind of like a radio signal, I guess.
Yeah.
and
You know,
with the portal,
yeah, I think so. I am a firm believer that these things are interdimensional. Okay. Now, does that mean that they're jumping in and out of portals or walking into like a black cube? Like though it was actually a white cube when it first showed up and the thermal was hot, you know. It eventually dissipated and it moved. It got smaller and it moved and then it finally it disappeared. It moved. According to what the guys, said, we only have documented the last parts of it where it was already dissipating. Okay, so it wasn't like the full video from beginning to end. It's just like they got it towards the end of it when they were looking at it. So yeah, I think that having that experience and or knowing that our team has had that experience with the what we call the black cube or the portal, I believe that could explain where Bigfoots are coming in and out. Okay, it could explain also where missing people are going. Right, we've got missing people all
a lot of
over.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Or that's just maybe one method, and there's a lot of similar methods. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
you're telling me the story, Bermuda Triangle started just coming to my mind, and
yeah,
like you're talking about these just these weird anomalies. Sorry, hair in
yeah,
my mouth. I'm so sorry. So you kind of already answered another question of mine. I was going to ask you if the portal stayed in the same spot or if it moved. But you did say that did it actually move somewhere else that you're aware of, or did it just kind of
yeah.
vanish and y'all didn't know where it went?
Yeah, they said it moved. So it went from one area to like getting smaller and then moving to a different area, and then it dissipated after that. So and if you guys want a full interview with the guy who saw it originally, that was my show last Saturday night. So that is actually on my YouTube channel too. So you guys can watch that. Just go to Oracle of the South, and it's the episode with David Pardue is his name. He's one of my somebody to go out in the field with, and so y'all watch that. It's a fascinating interview. But yeah, it moved around. Yeah.
So then I'm sorry because I got like a lag for just a second. It's okay now, but it got really staticky for a minute. I heard most of what you said, but you actually did pick it up somewhere else, or y'all were able to catch it, or I guess the signature of it.
Yeah, they just got the remnants of it, like the last bit of it before it completely disappeared. It wasn't full and solid when they started recording it. They had it in their sights, but they weren't recording it yet.
How far
And
away was
so,
it?
beg your pardon? What was
How
that? How
far
big
away
was it?
was it?
Oh, how far
How
away?
far
I don't know.
away? Yeah.
I think they were about 75 yards away, something like that, 50 yards. But when they were recording it, but now the two guys walked into it. So that they were in it basically, but they didn't know they were in it
Oh,
because they didn't see it. And this was in the middle of
right,
the night too. So it was dark.
right. I'm sorry. Whenever I asked how far away, what I meant, and I'm sorry. I hope everybody in chat can see this okay. If the screen's fine now, I just started kind of breaking up a little bit. I hope it doesn't do what it did last night with Gemma because it froze all the way up. Um, yeah, I
It's a
just had some
portal.
weird.
It's a portal opening.
Uh, yeah,
Just
Gemma was
kidding.
talking. We were talking about electronics malfunctioning last night around
Yeah.
people too. It's happened around me and a couple other people I've been around. But what I was asking is like how far away. Whenever you said it moved, or y'all picked, you did pick up its signature somewhere else. Whenever it moved from one
They
location to
said
another.
they said that it had moved several yards. So I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see it move. So I haven't. I mean, the video doesn't show that part. So yeah.
I'm so fascinated by this, the whole portal thing. I got so many questions. Like I'm thinking of God. I'm thinking a lot of things like Stranger Things keeps coming to my head for some reason.
It
I
is.
just watched
Yeah.
that. What did they feel like emotionally, like mentally? Like, did they go into shock? Like, how? Because I can't imagine just like stepping somewhere and being like
Mm.
fully awake, but not in this reality. It's
Well, to them, it
mind-boggling.
was just they didn't know what was going on. And, my team, we've been doing this for a long time and we are very inoculated to all the high strangeness that we encounter. Now this was different. It was a little different. Now I got to say, one of the guys who went in, he had walked into a portal before. And so he had had the same experience in a different location, but he didn't understand what it was. And so this time he had someone with him. And and Bob will tell you on the interview that I did with him on my YouTube channel, he'll tell you, he talks all about it. There was a radiation spike. We find that a lot of times when there's paranormal activity in the field, there's a radiation spike. And I have to say that both of the gentlemen did get health problems after this event. And one of them, we're just going to say they got very sick. Both of them did. Now, I'm not attributing their sicknesses to this specifically, but we have our questions. Did they experience a lot of radiation, or what happened? Because we don't know.
I gotta say, so this is the third time in a row now that you've answered a question right before I even wrote it down. I was gonna ask if I literally have it written down if they have any health issues. Yeah, I've got to jump to the next question.
Hey, I'm psychic, so I know. Just kidding.
You're convincing me already. I want to ask, so have you ever had orb sightings around Sasquatch?
Oh my God.
Because I spoke to somebody else, and okay. Do you think Sasquatch can turn into orbs?
Okay, well.
I'm
all right, so orbs. That's a whole. You can do a whole show on orbs.
Yeah. Well, I believe they could be a wide variety of things. Really,
yeah, orbs are very interesting because I've been seeing orb. The first ghost, air quotes, ghost that I ever saw was an orb. Okay, and it had these like long like ribbons, like an octopus, like flowing off the sides. It was weird. That's the first ghost I ever remember seeing. Right. Well, orbs have pretty much followed me around my entire life. And I've always just thought, it was like an energy, a ball of energy of some sort. But there's such a variety of them. Okay. So there's
I was gonna say that's what I've been feeling. That's just I haven't even just from what I've seen a few different kinds. I've seen purple, white, like goldish amber, and like different sizes. And I was gonna say that's my exact opinion. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I've just been thinking it's some kind of condensed energy that can be a wide variety of things.
Yeah.
I forgot. I sent you that video of from a friend of mine with the orb actually flashing and seeing the entity come out. Wasn't that bizarre? That was
no, it's crazy. Okay. It's not as bizarre as you think, actually, because I have seen some videos. Yeah, I've seen some weird videos.
I'm really sorry. I got a lag. I don't mean to talk over you. The lag is messing me up. Didn't you say that there was a you saw like an orb come down and like an entity or something came out of it?
Yeah, I've seen a video. This was just a video that someone showed me that a very trusted friend who has, it's the video that I saw, and this was not my personal experience. It's just I saw the video, and it was orbs coming down from the sky. This was on somebody's CCTV, like their camera in their backyard or front yard. I don't know. And the orbs came down and turned into aliens. And the aliens ran around their yard for a minute. And then they turned back into orbs and shot past the camera. Wow. And they were solid, like metal orbs or something, just like super solid. So that changed my perspective on a lot of stuff. Yeah. It was weird. Yeah.
I'm getting a little weirded out talking to you. It's just weird. I mean, okay, so and I'm not making this up because I can show you the video after we get off, but it's a video I'm told not to share just to anybody, or picture. I'm sorry. So I have a friend in here in North Carolina. His name is Chris Bledsoe. He's pretty well known. He's the one who actually recorded that video that I sent you. He had an experience where an orb was about like 10 or 15 feet off the ground, kind of like the one that I showed you that flashed. Mm-hmm. And it actually, people who follow me or heard me on other channels, they've heard me tell this story. It dripped. It's like a orb, pure light, and it like dripped this like magma looking, kind of like just liquid, I guess. But as soon as it hit the ground, it solidified into like this metallic puddle, and it is metamaterial. And the orb turned from what Chris, and I believe him because I've had experiences with him. I got them on camera. Chris and a few other witnesses, they all saw this. It went from energy to a metal orb, just like you said, the
Yeah.
metallic sphere, and it shot off. And actually, Lou Elizondo and to the Stars and Academy, they came and retrieved this metamaterial. I've seen pictures of it, and it looked like
Yeah.
nothing I've ever seen in this world. And I can say that because Lou Elizondo and Tom DeLonge, the lead singer of Blink 182, I've seen pictures of them with Chris, and they both admitted it on a podcast. So that's a known fact. It's been admitted. But what you're saying, I just know from like neutral people, or mutual friends. I'm sorry. It's bizarre. How do you wrap your head around that? Like something going from energy to solid.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I had a hard time sleeping after I watched that because, and nothing really gets to me like that. But that was just weird. And, and this is something that the person that showed that to me was like, I've been told, I can't, not show this publicly and all this stuff. So like, it was, I had the opportunity to see something like that. And yes, it really changed my perspective on, the things I had experienced. My whole reality gets kind of shaken up a lot with the research that we do because I'm seeing things that aren't supposed to be here,
Right.
in this
Yeah.
reality. And so, and I'm experiencing it all. I have been kind of trained and we call it inoculated to the strangeness that we encounter so that I don't overreact to stuff or like get really scared. But I'm trying to figure out what orbs are, and I've been seeing orbs. You take a picture and a lot of times there'll be an orb in it. It'll be
Right.
like ghosts. I've always thought orbs were ghosts, some of them. A lot of the pictures and stuff will have orbs which are rain droplets or something like humidity, but there are orbs that are solid. There's some that have faces in them,
Yeah.
and there's some that are they're just all different. But when I saw this video, it changed my perspective on a lot of things because what I had thought an orb was is not really what orb is. Now it's like, oh, now they're aliens.
I think
Okay, great. Yeah,
yeah.
okay, whatever.
So
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think I was gonna ask you this anyway, so I want to go ahead and ask now. I feel like it's a good time. Whenever you're talking about, say, something that's like what we interpret as like a demon or an angel or some
Yeah.
kind of apparition, do you think that could be some type of extra dimensional being? And I've just asked Jim this last night, but I want to ask you as well. Just
Yeah.
not an extraterrestrial, not something from another planet, but something literally from another reality or another dimension.
Yeah.
This plane of
It,
existence.
yeah, it could be, but the interesting thing is like, what is a demon and what is an angel? Because it
Right.
depends on your perspective and your religion and your background. A lot of people, which I'm finding out, they believe that demons are aliens and aliens are demons, and so it's all about perspective.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think I know, seeing what I've seen and knowing what I know now, and of course, when I say I know something, I really don't know anything. So
Right.
it's just things that I've experienced. It's not like I'm an expert on any of this. I'm definitely not an expert on anything.
I don't
Um,
think anybody's ever going to find out all the answers. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
yeah,
cut you
you're
off, but
right.
exactly what you said. And like with me, it's like the more I'm sure it's the same with you because I feel
Yeah,
like I'm kind of like on a similar vibe with you right now. It's like the more you learn, you learn, get a lot more knowledge, but really the more you learn, the less you know with all this stuff.
exactly.
Um, and like I'm
Yeah,
only a year into this, but like I've just become fascinated and like I'm digging and just playing catch up nonstop because like a year ago, it's like I stepped to a whole new reality, and it's like, what
yeah,
in the world? Like all this existed, and found out, I accidentally astral projected once, and I didn't know what that was. I thought I don't know, I had a dream that I'd say that for another video, and plus I just spoke about that last night. But yeah, just this whole other side of reality. And I'm sorry my
Yeah.
ADD gets in there. I just run off the rails sometimes. But
No, you're good. You're
um,
good. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah, I just sometimes I get questions. That's why I need to get my notebook like ahead of time. I really got caught up in traffic today. It was
I
really
think
bad.
you're
But
doing awesome.
somebody had a thank you. Well, I'm so new at
Just
this
get
to
just
be honest.
vibing, man. Just got to vibe, and yeah. And that's
Exactly.
another thing with these cryptids and stuff, and like aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, whatever. It's just a frequency, right? Like we're all on
Yeah.
different frequencies, and this world is all about energy, frequency, and vibration. And I swear, like. Um, just like how they say like the right people will be on your vibe and your frequency, and like try to keep your vibe high, so that way you
Yeah.
attract people that are like you, and just because you attract what you are.
Law of
And so if you're,
attraction.
yeah, and if you're like low vibe or whatever, you're going to attract low vibing people, and so yeah, I try to keep my vibe as high as possible and try to, I've been through a lot, and I've I'm healing myself every day, and trying to keep my mood good, and I'm trying to, I've been cutting out all the extra things that don't serve my highest good, and that means people that don't serve my highest good, that kind of stuff, because I want to have a high vibe experience in this world, and especially dealing
Yeah.
with the paranormal. You don't want to get clingers on, is what I like to call it, with like
Yeah.
negative entities. Like someone was asking about negative entities. Well, I try to fly right past those things. I don't want them you know clinging on to me. And it's harder to cling on to somebody who has a higher vibrational frequency than it does somebody with the lower vibrational frequency. That's why people that are you can go to a bar, and people that
Yeah.
are like wasted drunk, they'll have like negative entity attachments on them, and people who can see those things can see it.
I feel it. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
whenever they say it clicked to me not too long ago, and if Chad Smith is in the chat, I think I was talking to him whenever I found this out. I'm just sitting there talking one day, and by the way, I got so I was a skeptic when it comes to paranormal stuff until like a year ago, but
Mhm.
10 years or 11 years ago now, I had my near death experience, and after that, I got well, I got I don't want to get into this, but I got really depressed, and I was fighting physical pain and addiction to pain medication. So I got really into quantum physics and like consciousness and mind over matter and stuff like that, and kind of used that
Yeah.
as a coping mechanism to deal with my pain. And I've been like fascinated with that for like the past 11 years. And I have always loved like things like sci-fi and like Marvel, like I mentioned earlier. But I feel like that, and I'm really into synchronicities too. I feel like the more you
Yeah.
look at them, the more you look for them, the more you see them. But and I'm going off the rails again here too. I get excited.
No, but
Um,
it's all connected.
yeah. Thank you. So I feel like that kind of prepped me for
Yeah.
being a little more open-minded, I guess, to what I'm
Yeah.
experiencing now. Because like what you're talking about, all this frequency stuff, like law of attraction, just the energy. Like I was talking about neuroplasticity yesterday, and I was going to ask you about that. Um, I feel like this was kind of meant to happen for me, and maybe it happens to a
Yeah.
lot of people. I think it's happened to so many people right now. Actually, I have a
Yeah.
segment called Shifting Paradigms. Chad Smith is going to be on there tomorrow, and it's all about just like this awakening that it's more of a discussion about whatever's happening in the world right now. Because it
Yeah.
seems like so many people are waking up, and other people are kind of disconnected from reality or in the
Yeah.
material. And I'm sorry, I know I'm talking your ears off right now, but one thing what I meant to mention at the very beginning here, oh, sorry, the vibe. Like I was talking to Chad, and it hit me one day that like vibe, like you pick up a vibe from somebody that's vibration vibe. Like I was like, damn, how did I never put that together?
Yeah.
Um, sorry, I know I went so off the rails there. Um,
No, that's good. Yeah, it's the vibe, and your vibe attracts your tribe, So it's all
I
about
like that.
yeah, your vibe attracts your tribe. And so and so, but now with the awakening that is happening all over the world right now, um and even like you having your podcast is like helping wake people up, Josh. So this is amazing. That's why I love. When you asked me to come on your podcast, I was like, heck yeah, I'll come on, because I love just reaching as many people as we can, and expanding the consciousness of everyone that we can touch. Everyone we can reach, and because it's raising the vibrational frequency of people to learn new things. That's why I love the synchronicities too. Like we're here talking right now, and there's a lot of people connecting with it. There's also going to be people not connecting with it, and that's fine. It is what it is. But for those who do connect with it, it's letting everybody know we're not alone. We're all here trying to figure this out, figure this world out, and a lot of us are having really crazy experiences, and we're not the only ones. There's a whole world of people out there. And it's we've got this craziness going on in the world right now, and everybody is like going through trauma, and and through this trauma, it's almost like people are waking up because of the trauma.
You got me convinced. I'm sorry, you really got me convinced now that you have some psychic ability. Like, I can show you the paper. I'm going to do like I've lost count like 4 or 5 times now. I'm just about to ask you. Like I have it written down. Actually, the next 2 questions is,
I believe it.
How do you feel like trauma? Do you feel like it has an effect with like neuroplasticity and like letting people be able to see or experience these like what like spectrums of energy or whatever, invisible energy? I'm sorry, you really kind of just that's like the 4th or 5th time you've done that early. Like,
well, it's only because we're on the vibe, Josh. We're on that same vibe, and that's why we're we're on that vibe.
Definitely, and I just thought just a minute ago you said what the vibe helped you find your tribe. If you look at the bottom of my description, I put high vibes from TrippyTimes. I don't know, and welcome to the tribe is like something I put on.
Oh, really?
It's weird, yeah.
Hey, that's your new catchphrase right there.
I've already been using it. I'm like,
you're welcome.
Chad, I don't know. Somebody might have it's so weird. Like I thought it was cheesy at first, but no. Mine is just yours backwards almost.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here getting weirded out by synchronicities. I love it. I get like a euphoria from a lot of it too.
Well, heck yeah.
So what's your opinion on like synchronicities, like the really unreal ones? Like, why do you think they happen?
Yeah, listen, I have synchronicities every day, and here's the thing: if you start picking up on them, there's messages in those. Okay, so like, I mean, even if you find a feather on the ground or like a penny, and you're like, I found a penny in my seat today, and that is representative of my brother. His name was Benny. His name is Ben. And he passed away in a car accident, 16 years ago when he was 22 years old. So, I think about him every day. But, when I find, I see a penny, and I'm like, that's a penny from Benny, and things like that. It's like, you just got to pay attention to what's around you. And, I think that if we could just all just get out of our phones and get out in nature and like just start paying attention to the world around us and the beauty of nature and our friends and our families and our pets, and like just focusing on that and not on this technological fake reality that we're in, like this 3D matrix reality. Get back into nature, get in tune, with the bees and the birds and the lakes and the rivers and I don't know. Not to sound too flighty, but
I love it. I want to go fishing so bad right now. I barely fished last year at all, and that's something I love to do. And I love being in nature too. And I want to say, first off, to everybody in the chat, I really appreciate I've been seeing some awesome comments, but my mind's on overload, and I'm having such a good time talking with Jessica. I can't respond to everybody right now, so if I missed any questions, I'm really sorry. I wanted to
everybody.
Ask you definitely got a Georgia accent.
I do.
I don't mean in a bad way at all. So I want to
I'm proud.
Yeah, definitely Southern pride, right? I mean, so, I don't know. Sometimes I hear myself, I'm like, God, I sound like a hillbilly.
Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm getting so sidetracked right now. No, I'm just getting excited talking to you. I got cryptids. I'm sorry, that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to get into like the cryptids a little bit. What kind of I'm changing the subject a little bit, but like what kind of I guess what's the most compelling cryptid experience that you've had, and what do you think they are? Like
What's up,
exactly.
Connor? Yeah.
What's up,
I mean,
Sean?
I've had a bunch of experiences with cryptids. My show is about cryptids actually on KGRA digital broadcasting. So, I've experienced everything from alien contact to Bigfoot to ghost and even a interdimensional type being and little things like I stuff that there's no label to it. So like, I don't even know. And here's the thing, like I do remote viewing. My entire team
Mm.
is trained in remote viewing, and that's something we can talk about before the show's over today if you'd like. But
Oh, I had it written down already.
yeah.
I
so
keep
so
forgetting it. Sorry.
I've been taught not to label anything, okay? And so like some of the creatures and things that we experience, I don't know what it is. Like I don't even, there's nothing to label it as. But excuse me. So I think some of the more profound experiences I have weren't even in the field. It was like at home. you know I'm having like ET encounters and stuff. My team has was encouraged after I had like a very profound UFO experience in the field, with like a low flying UFO over my head while I was out doing a Bigfoot expedition one week. And I was encouraged to start reading about alien abductions. And so I, got my whole library together and I was reading about, abductions with some of the more kind of mainstream books with like Whitley Strieber and all those guys. And yeah, I started having ET contact. Let's just say, and so that was really highly strange to me. And so yeah, like I go out in the woods looking for cryptids and experiencing them, but yet they're also coming to my house as well. So
Yeah,
um,
it sounds like you're a, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It sounds like you're a very multifaceted experiencer, and that makes me feel even more that, like what we mentioned earlier, there's some kind of thread there, something that connects all of this stuff together. Like whether you're talking
there
about
is.
something like an apparition or an alien or a spirit or a ghost or, there's something that connects them all. I want to ask you, real quick, you mentioned like cryptids that you can't name. Um, like really bizarre ones, I guess. So
Yeah.
I'm actually speaking to he's he's a cryptid researcher over in Africa, actually, South Africa, and he's got a very thick accent. I'm kind of having a little bit of a language barrier, but he actually showed me videos, and he actually spoke at a conference about this. I cannot remember what they God, I wish I wrote down. I did write down somewhere what they name. Is that it? Yeah, okay, I found it right here. Roping. It's a freaking fucking pterodactyl. Is really what
Oh
it is.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of anything like it? Because I've
Yeah.
researched it, and he pointed out to me in this nerd synchronicity. Guy lives in Africa. I told him to live in North Carolina. He's like, oh, there was a sighting of one, what roping, however you say, in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. I
Yeah.
look it up, and like, sure enough, it was on the news. I pulled it up on YouTube and everything. I mean, that's just so bizarre. I've never heard of anything
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Well,
it was like a giant.
yeah. Well, what about the
Sorry, go
Native
ahead.
American thunderbird? What was that?
Yeah, exactly. That's you read my mind again. You
Yeah.
really did. I was gonna. You're on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got me totally convinced.
They're saying, that I've seen, I've heard about
Pictures,
this
right?
pterodactyl. It's like a pterodactyl, and I saw a video, or like there was like a still shot from like a game cam or something that I saw that some
Is
of the
that a black
guys on
and
my
white
team were
photo?
passing around.
Uh,
What was that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's a lag. I really hate that I keep accidentally talking over you. What isn't there
It's
like a
okay.
black and white photo of like looks like some cowboys in like a western photo,
Oh
and they're
yeah, I
all like
think that was
pointed. I don't know if
doctored.
it's fake. Yeah, I was gonna say that might have been fake. Okay, that's what I was going to
Yeah,
ask
I
you
think
because
that one might have been Photoshop, but I'm not. I don't know. I have no idea. But it is a thing, and think about the Loch Ness monster as well. Like these are prehistoric animals, right? They look like a prehistoric um, being. Okay,
you know,
so Here we go with the
Texas,
portal again, right? The portals. I mean, is it possible that there are actual prehistoric animals coming in and out of these portals?
like
I
time
mean,
travel, like time portals in a way. Some of them
yeah.
maybe.
I mean,
Yeah, my mind is
what if they're
blown
coming in and out
away.
of these black cubes that we've encountered in the field? I mean, sometimes if you're into tracking or if you do Bigfoot field research, you will sometimes find that tracks stop out of nowhere. You'll be following track lines and they disappear without a trace. They don't go into a cave, they're not going into some kind of tree line, they just stop. Okay. We have
Right.
had tracks in the field that not only Bigfoot tracks that stopped out of nowhere, but car tracks that just stopped, disappeared.
Um,
That didn't make sense. Okay. So, or things are coming in and out. I mean, so that if we've got car tracks too, like going, just disappearing in a field, is there like a government? Are these things like made by our government or something? I don't know. I mean, don't quote me. I don't know. I don't come after me. I don't know. But
I don't know. I mean, like you said earlier, none of us have all the answers. That's why
no,
we're doing this, why we're talking to each other and reaching out, trying to figure these things out.
just
It's
throwing it out there.
yeah,
you
definitely.
know.
What you were just talking about with the car tracks, and I've heard about the tracks of like Sasquatch footprints just disappearing and stuff as well. But I just watched something on a I don't know if it's like Hanger One or something. It was some show
Hmm.
about UFO abductions, and they were talking about this trucker, and the trucker, he was driving an 18-wheeler, had missing time, and they ended up finding him like I think like I'm just guessing here like 50 or 60 miles away or something like that. But it was only like a short amount of time, like impossibly amount of short
Yeah.
period of time. And it wasn't like missing time where he had an extended amount of time missing. It was almost the opposite. Like he had missing time, but it felt like he had only been asleep for like 20 minutes or something like that. And really, I think, or no, sorry, to him it felt like he'd been asleep for a long time. But whenever he woke up, he'd really only been asleep, or not asleep, but time that actually went by. It was really only like 20 minutes of time that went by
Yeah.
during his missing time. That to him felt like super long time. And they find him
Yeah.
like 50 or 60 miles away, and they even they checked the God, my mind is just going blank. They checked the speedometer like on the car, and
Yeah.
just miles. It's I'm sorry, I'm having really hard time wrapping
No,
my head around this right now.
I
I'm getting a little tongue tied, and I'm
understand.
not. I was gonna say
Listen.
that
We've
just made
had
me
that
think
in the
of what
field. Yeah.
that's so bizarre. Yeah, that's what I was wanting to ask you about. I don't have that story fully researched, so I was getting really scrambled right now. But it's bizarre, hearing stuff like that. And I don't know. Do you think like that could have been, and what you're talking about, like an abduction, literally like something just abducted the entire vehicle? I mean, if they can do it to a person, why not
Yeah,
take a
but
whole vehicle?
there's
Not
another
every
thing
time though.
too where we research out. This is at the Meadow where we those tracks were, and there's not even really a place for cars to get in there. So that was weird. I don't
Oh
know.
wait, so the vehicle tracks, they're in the meadow that you're talking
Mhm.
about. That's what you're saying, and it was somewhere that had no access to vehicles.
Yeah, it's
Oh wow.
we have there's a lot of anomalies like that. That the Meadow is very interesting. It's a very interesting place. So yeah, I mean, but we've had missing
Brown
time. I've
button
had
thought.
missing time. Yeah,
Really? Explain. Thank
yeah.
you, Brown Dot Swap. Yeah, I barely slept at all last night. I know I'm having fun, really, and y'all guys have seen me talk before. In my
Hey, I need to
mind,
breathe too.
I get excited about this.
We're
I
talking
really
about
don't really.
exciting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, this hour's already blown by pretty quick. I am gonna have to need to go grab something to drink here in just a minute, but uh, talk about the missing time really quick, if you don't
Yeah, I'll
mind.
talk about missing time. So the first time that I had missing time that I know of, when we were out in the field and we had these like low flying UFOs flying over our heads, me and my partner, one weekend, and his equipment, like we I don't really carry a whole lot of equipment out in the field with me anymore. I find I have a lot more activity when I don't have equipment. And so, but back I had my voice recorders and all that kind of stuff with me, and his equipment had, by the end of the evening, his equipment had gone like forward hours and mine had gone backwards or vice versa. I can't remember. But our equipment was off by an hour, two different
Wow.
directions. So that was really weird. We definitely had some sort of contact of some sort that night, UFO wise. So, I mean, I've had teammates that basically turned into like a ball of light and shot across the field and stuff. I mean,
Wow.
missing
I've never
time
heard
and
that
getting
before.
disoriented. I mean, we have a lot of stories out of the Meadow. So, um,
That's,
but yeah,
yeah, we're definitely getting into the woo, as they say. But no, I love it. Really, behind. I mean, like I said earlier, you look into this, you've got to get past the nuts and bolts thing at a certain
yeah,
point. There's no disrespect to people, like you said, that are investigating things to see it at that nuts and bolts level, because that's where I was when I first started opening up. But at a certain point, you certain things just can't be explained. And like I feel like what you
yeah,
also said earlier, once you kind of start looking for some of that stuff, I don't know if maybe it's certain people. I know we both have Native Americanness, or maybe something like the wiring of the brain with the spectrums of light or whatever. There's
yeah,
something that happens to these experiencers where they start to experience things more, I guess,
yeah, yeah.
as they're looking for it, or maybe not looking for it, but as they're paying attention to it, whether they want it or not.
Well, that's my question. Like that I've had is, when I had alien extraterrestrial contact in my home up close and personal, it's like, did I manifest that from looking into it, or was the veil lifted and it had always been there, but I had not seen it before until I expanded my consciousness to like having this be a reality? Do you know what I'm saying? Like we all
Yeah,
make our own realities in a way. And
yeah.
so, did I just invite that into my reality, or had it always been there? And I just wasn't able to see it or have that perception of it.
I
So,
know exactly what you mean. I'm gonna try to say this real condensed. So like I had an experience, like a few experiences where it's like as soon as I look up in the sky, I see an orb like right there, like but it's like it
mhm.
pops up right, and I asked exactly what you did to Preston Dennett and my MUFON investigator Seb Talk. I don't know if you know if she is or not. Um, so Seb, I talked to her about it, and I said just like you did, and am I sensing that it's about to pop up there, or does it know that I'm popping up there and it's like reading my
Mhm.
mind? And like, which one is it? Or, am I making this energy just manifesting it somehow? And she
Yeah.
just said a really good question, and like you also said though, like, what if all this stuff is just around us all the time? Like, there's could
Yeah.
be these entities, these, this energy or life
Yeah.
forms around us like, at all times without us realizing it.
I think it is.
Um,
And and I've actually, I have communicated with my deceased loved ones like my grandfather and my brother, and I've asked them these questions. And my grandfather of all people told me, he said, we're not actually dead. He's like, we're right here in front of you. Like we're right here, you just can't see us. So there's it's just a different vibrational frequency. Now, not to get into like the whole debate of like about heaven and hell and all that kind of stuff, like where do we go when we die? I don't know. I mean, they he said that they're all very happy. They're having fun, but it's just another, like I don't know what's the difference between a dimension and a frequency. Like I don't know.
right.
That's another question, right?
Yeah.
um
Yeah, definitely. I've been telling Chad, if he's still in the chat, I think he might be. I feel like this reality, it's just like a training ground for your soul, I guess, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I feel like we are all a piece of the universe, or a piece of God, or the source, or whatever, however you want to phrase it. I try not to put labels on things because
yeah,
I believe there's truth in all religions in a way, but I just don't think they're supposed to divide and put people in fear like the way they do. And I say this a lot, but I think like spiritual side of things, like what you're talking about, is what's going to hopefully enlighten and bring people together. Enlighten and uniting instead of divide and frighten. Um,
yeah,
and like which I don't know, maybe it's because I've had a near death experience. Because and I don't need to get so much on myself, but when I had my NDE, um, I I got to a moment where I didn't feel any pain at all, and I was stuck in a vehicle. I got hit by a drunk driver. I was pinned in for an hour and a half, and like all my family was there. They were watching me get cut out, and like bleeding to death. I don't want to get into too much
Oh,
detail. It's very graphic, and I almost had my right foot severed off or torn off. Really, is yeah, my jaw. I
oh
have
my
three metal plates in my jaw. I have a rod in my arm. I'm a cyborg, really, and I didn't mean to get so
wow.
grim, but yeah, but I really I mean for a moment, it's like panic, like I'm like at first I didn't know if it was real or not, if I'm dreaming. And I guess all my pain receptors shut down. I didn't feel any pain. But I'm literally just pinned in this vehicle. I've got my arm like pressed up against my face. I'm like a pretzel. Both my knees are pulled all the way up to my chest. And the
Oh.
reason being is because I had both of my feet out the passenger window. And the people so people who but there's a lot of people in the chat I know have already heard this story, like Sunsaver, Nightmare, a few others. This is kind of what got me believing in a higher power. So this is a month after I graduated high school. I'm 18 years old now when this happened, and you really made me want to say this because you said something about having an experience with your deceased grandfather, and I
Yeah.
did too. Whenever I had the one single accidental astral projection that I did. That was exactly a year before this near death experience, and my grandfather told me everything would be okay. But
Wow.
whenever I'm pinned in the vehicle in this moment, like I really got to a point where I remember. So like my near death experience wasn't so much like how you hear a lot of people talk about like seeing a light or like actually leaving their body. I didn't feel that, but I felt peace. If that made like I felt acceptance. Like I was okay with what was about to happen. I don't know how to explain it. It sounds so weird, but I remember like just really just thinking. I felt like this warmth go over my body, but it was soothing. It made me feel calm. And I remember like looking at my best friend in the seat next to me, and he's telling me, we're gonna get you out, and the firefighters are coming, starting to cut me out, and I just tell him like, no, this is it, but it's okay. Like, and or I told him like it's okay, this is it, and I was trying to tell him, that it was going to be okay. That's what I was thinking in my head, but I could see that panic on his face because of what I was telling him. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling here, but like in that moment, I really remember thinking like, what am I about to see? Like, what's about to happen after I leave?
Yeah.
Because this is it. But I didn't feel like everything was going to go black and shut off though. I felt like I'm about to go somewhere, and like whatever's going to happen, it's going to be okay. And I'm sorry, I know I rambled on that. That
Yeah.
one time I was
No.
abducted by aliens. I told this story on their show, and I try not to get emotional talking about it, but so the real crazy thing about this experience, I told you I put both my feet out the passenger window of the car, right?
Yeah.
I did that about like minutes, if not seconds, before we got hit head on by this pickup truck. And Chad Smith, that's the other, I think, butt rating, of course. Um, so what's crazy? It turns out they got me out the vehicle an hour and a half later. They cut me out. They
An
flew me in a
hour and a half.
helicopter. Yeah,
Dang.
to me, it felt like minutes. Like I remember like fragments of information, like just seeing it's like little clips from a movie kind of. But I remember those moments so perfect. And the one moment that I remember more perfect than anything is whenever I told my friend this is it, and like I was like preparing or accepting, what was about to happen. They flew me on a helicopter. I spent a week in a coma and 6 months in a wheelchair. I had my jaw wired shut for 4 months. Um,
Wow.
right before we got hit, though, I put my feet out the window. I don't know why I did this. I don't think I've ever done it in my entire life. And it was like minutes, if not seconds. And I have pictures to prove this from the fire department because I became a firefighter for 4 years, and I joined one of the fire departments that cut me out. Um, the glove compartment was pushed all the way up against my body, and it turned out if my legs would have been inside the car, my legs would have been totally crushed. And they asked me, that's they asked me, like, did you pull your no, like I didn't see the truck coming. My feet were out the window. And then they show me this picture while I'm in the hospital, bedbound. And they're like, well, your legs would have been crushed. So you saved your life putting your feet out the window. And, that to
Wow.
me, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so much on myself. I really just,
Oh, I
I felt
love
so much
it.
intended.
Wow. No,
Thank you.
you've got that perspective now of right before you die. Like you had a near death experience. That was like, and if you like you got that perspective that very few people live through, like most people experience that and then they pass on, into the next side and they leave these meat suits, that we're in and transfer to the
Yeah.
next phase. but you were able to tell your story, and that's probably part of your mission now, is to be able to share your story like that. And because some of us have experiences talking to people on the other side. Well, piecing all this together, we get an idea of like what happens when we do die, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's just amazing that you survived that. And it's almost like your intuition had you putting your legs out the window and you had no idea why. Well, maybe
Right.
that was like your angels, or that was
You just said
something.
as soon as you said the word angels, brown dot flops thing popped up, and the first thing I looked at on my phone was the word angels. I swear to God. So crazy. Right? That's awesome. I love it.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
Synchronicities. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta love the synchronicities. Josh, your angels were watching out for you. Everybody's told me that. I believe it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe that like the typical version of what most people think of whenever they hear like angels and heaven and hell and stuff. I don't believe it's like that. I don't mean to offend anybody, but that just kind of a cliche just version, like a man with a white beard on a cloud and stuff. I just think it's something so much bigger that we can't even wrap our head around. That we can't even process. Um,
Yeah.
it might not even be possible for us to process it. And you said are like meat vessels or whatever.
Our meat suit.
I think yeah, I think like we're antennas. Just with the
Yeah.
frequency we put out and tune in. And I'm sorry, I know I've been going on. um, I want to I wanted to talk to you about your remote viewing. Um, I just God, I went so off the rails. I got into that
No, that's it. No,
conversation.
it's all connected though, right? Like everything's
Yeah,
connected, and that story is very important, especially in with what we're talking about, and just the whole experience of everything being connected. So no, that
yeah,
that story is very important.
yeah. And I felt compelled to tell you that because you mentioned. So, did you see your grandfather in a dream?
I have seen, yeah. Well, he told me that through a ghost box. Actually, I was having a conversation with him through the ghost box. So,
Oh
um,
wow,
but
talk about that a
I
little.
do communicate with my family and everyone in my dreams quite often. Yeah, I do have very profound dreams, and that's kind of on that 5D level, and so I do a lot of communication through the 5D. So yeah, yeah,
I might need to have a private chat to go like into deep detail about so the astral projection I mentioned you. That's whenever I had an experience with my grandfather and my great grandfather. And I spoke about this with Jim last night, and I'm going to end up going on for like 15 or 20 minutes. But I'd love to have a private chat with you sometime about that. Just to hear your opinion about it, because I can tell you're really tuned
yeah.
into it. So the do you mind taking answers from the chat real quick while I get something to
Of
drink?
course.
I'm sorry, my mouth
Yeah,
is so
yeah, for
dry.
sure. Or how about I can
Okay.
do answer? I can do questions, and I can talk about a little bit about remote viewing too while you're gone. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, wait for me. I wanted to hear that.
I'll wait
That's
for
what I was planning
you.
on asking. No, you're good. Go ahead. I'll be back in just a couple of seconds.
All
Right back.
right. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna trying to pull up some questions if you guys have any. If anybody has any questions for me, y'all, please. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's a very powerful story that Josh has. So let's see. Hey, thank everybody for tuning in today. This is really fun. I'm having a really good time, and I appreciate all the comments. And I know Josh does too. I just met Josh today, by the way. We talk on social media sometimes. So um, yeah, this is a lot of fun. Okay, I'm trying to scroll up to the top to see if I can find. Uh, okay. Well, hey, if you guys have any questions, y'all ask me, please, because I'm here. I'm here to answer. Um, let's see. The aliens. Okay, so the aliens and the security camera. I have no idea if they were I have no idea if they were gray or green or what, because it was they didn't have any color on them. It was all like black and white. They looked kind of gray. They looked white actually. So I don't know, because it was all like night vision kind of stuff going on. So I have no idea. But Okay, Jessica, from your research, do you think the portal is a naturally occurring event, or is it, I think it's artificial?
Really?
And so I think, yeah, I think it's artificial. It's appeared to be
Good
like kind of
question.
not. I don't want to say man made. I think it was like alien made or something. It appeared to have,
Okay.
according to what the person who experienced it the most, David said, it will look like it looked almost like a square, and it had crosses in it. Okay, it looked like a cube, like a 3D cube, like a little house. And he said it looked like it had a door on it. So it even had a door on it. So y'all watch that interview on Oracle of the South, my show with David Pardue. Okay, on my YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to check it out myself as well. So was it kind of like sacred geometry in a way? You were talking about the
Well,
cute and the
there are geometrical shapes that do look like the cube, actually. So that's interesting you said that. Yeah, could be.
I was trying
Yeah.
to visualize it in my head. And it also made me think about I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this, but is it the Philadelphia experiment, which I'm like really kind of still getting into?
Yep.
Didn't uh didn't that have a lot to do with like aliens and time travel and cryptids and all kinds of crazy
I,
shit?
you know, I'm not sure because the Philadelphia experiment was where they took that, they tried to teleport the whole ship of soldiers,
Oh,
right?
okay, okay. Yeah, you might be right.
So,
So, yeah, so I'm thinking of the God, what is it called? If anybody in the chat can help me out real quick, um, it's kind of like where they got the inspiration for Stranger Things from.
oh yeah,
Uh,
the Manitalk project, right?
yeah,
Mantalk.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And I wouldn't have been able to pronounce that right anyway. So thank you so
it's
much.
either Mantalk or
Um,
Manitalk or something.
yeah,
I know what
yeah,
you're talking about, though. We got
that's
the
it
vibe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't pronounce it right, but we're on the same vibe. No,
I don't know how to
thank
pronounce it
you.
either.
That's funny. You talk, me and Enzo, if he's still in the chat, we were talking last night about being around other people with accents because he's originally Southern, but he said he took his accent to a back alley and kind of shot it, because he moved up north, I guess.
Oh
I
my
said,
god. No, I used to work hard to get rid of my accent when I was in college. Listen,
um,
I got made fun of when I was a kid because I went on, my uncle was had a radio show, and I man talk, mon talk. But yeah, I got he called me one day and put me on the radio and asked me to explain the storm that just ripped through my county, and I was like, there was hail
yeah,
balls the size of golf balls. So I was always embarrassed about my accent after that. So
oh, it kind of, oh God, if I drink certain types of whiskey, it will, oh my goodness, I don't even need to think about it.
it gets
There's a
real
reason,
southern, huh?
yeah, 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 I don't know. It's weird. Like I have a southern side, but I also have like this weird side. Well, now it's like paranormal stuff. I was never into this till like a year ago. And now I'm just fascinated with it. But I've always had like that kind of, I guess, nerdy side I tried to hide. I mean, like quantum physics and like sci-fi and shit. Like I've always loved that, but I'd get around some of my friends in the past and like, not that I hid it from them, but they would find out, hear me talking about it, and they're like, "What the hell? Like, what happened to the Josh we were just hanging out with?" I don't now I'm like to the point where like I don't care, like this is I feel like this is the
You
real
gotta
me.
stop.
And
Stop caring. Yeah, because
yeah, I'm
you
thinking
gotta,
that.
you're attracting your vibe, right? You're attracting your tribe, and so
Yeah,
there's no point in trying to explain yourself to anybody. It's important that you be authentic and you put yourself out there, and people that are like you are going to be attracted to that vibe, and you're going to connect with more people that are like you, and have the same experiences as you.
right. Yeah, exactly. I was telling, I think it was Enzo or somebody last night that I feel more comfortable talking about this stuff in this community than I do anybody else. I want to say I don't hide it from my family. A couple of my members have found out that I'm an experiencer, but I don't want to throw all that information on them because I just don't want to hear for one, like their criticism isn't going to change reality. Like I know what's real. I'm to the point where I don't care what people think. I'm just going to let them kind of find out on their own. So I will say, like, since like I made a page just for this channel, I had a couple family members find out about it somehow, one of them thought I was crazy as hell. Um, one of them was like very interested in it, and I found out I got two family members that are actually experiencers themselves, and I think I mentioned something about that privately. But yeah, it's thank you everybody in the chat. By the way, I'm missing so many people right now. There's so many comments. But I'm having a great conversation with Jessica Jones, Marvel superhero up here. It's pretty awesome. Sorry, I'll quit saying that. I want to get to your remote viewing. I knew I was forgetting something. So when did you start getting into that? And yeah, can you explain a little bit
Yeah,
about that?
totally. Yeah. Well, after being in the field, doing field research with Bigfoot and having the UFO experiences, we decided my team, the head of my team, one of my teams is a remote viewer, a very amazing remote viewer. And so he was like, let's get the whole team trained because we need to be able to all look into these events that are occurring out in the field. And also, it's a good way to get our minds right. Okay. It's remote viewing is like mind control, but it's controlling your own mind. Okay. It's not controlling anyone else's minds. And so, you got to think about like ET experiences and even experiences with Bigfoot. Are they able to control our minds? We have screen memories, right? When people get abducted and stuff. So maybe it's, there's a way for us to get on that level. Like maybe there's potential. We have this enhanced human capability that we haven't tapped into yet. That's how ETs and things are able to control us in some way, and I think that may be why we don't have full disclosure about ETs and all that kind of stuff, because maybe they're a little more powerful than we are. I mean, I don't know, but it's good to, yeah, it's good to kind of have that in your toolbox when you're out in the field, is to be able to control your mind. Okay. Because it's really scary when you're out there and experiencing Bigfoot or interdimensionals or aliens or whatever, or portals. So it's, yeah. So anyways, remote viewing is, okay, what I'm best at and what I really like doing is coordinate remote viewing. Okay. There's a whole lot of different types of remote viewing. The one that I do the most often is coordinate remote viewing, where I am assigned a target, and I usually don't know what that target is. It's we call it a blind target. And I'm given a set of numbers. They're just random. And through that set of numbers, it's assigned a target. Okay. I draw out graphs, and I start my session, and like I do like a little bit of automatic writing. We draw ideograms. We have any kind of descriptive words, anything that comes to my mind, I write it down on these charts. Okay. And I go, page after page after page after page of drawing pictures and graphs and words and whatever comes in my mind. I write it all down. I don't leave anything out. And by the end of the session, I have my target, whatever it is. And a lot of times, I have practice targets and I have real targets, high priority targets. A lot of times, I help, I've been tasked to help find missing people. It's something that like the government used to use. And I don't know if they claim I don't think they say they still do it today, but back in the 60s or so, they had psychic spies. Yeah. And the Russians had them, the Americans had them. I mean, I'm sure all sorts of governments had them, but that's what it is. It's I don't know if it started out as a government program specifically, but I believe that's kind of how people would know it best. And there's actually even a movie made after it, The Men Who Stare at Goats, with George Clooney. That movie.
You were really on some psychic level stuff. So Chris Bledsoe, my friend, the guy who I showed you those videos I recorded with, he knows the guy they based that movie off, which it was really two people actually, and they merged those two people together into George Clooney's character. But you're on.
Cool.
My ears keep fucking ringing, and I heard somebody mention something about ears ringing earlier, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's the synchronicities. It's like downloads. I swear, I get my ears ring all the time.
Does that mean something?
Well, it depends. It means different things to different people. A lot of times when you're getting like a download or something, your ears will ring. Or in my case,
You think mine could just be ringing right now because we're having like an intense conversation and
Yeah,
like
could be.
um
You're getting
I
some
don't
divine
know.
downloads.
I don't know. I, I don't know. I used to be so skeptical about some of that stuff, but I've done so, like I want to say this because this is something I want to ask you about. I'm going to mark this out so I know because I need to really start writing stuff out. Help me stay organized with these conversations when my mind goes on
I can
overload.
see your paper and pen. That's
Um,
why. I'm just kidding.
uh,
I'm remote
you
viewing your
might be
paper
able
and pen
to.
right now.
You know what? If you told me that right now, I would totally believe you. You've already
I can
predicted
see
like
you.
six
You
questions, you
can't hide
know.
from me. I'm just kidding.
Um,
I'm
so I was
kidding.
gonna ask you about like no, I really would buy it. Um, like synchronicities and like or downloads, like you were talking about. I was talking about placebos with a friend of mine, Wayne from Michigan UFOs and Paranormal. He's um he's been on my show before, and I've been on his show. But so like say a synchronicity or a placebo. I mean, a synchronicity or like a download, for example. What if could it be maybe I'm going to say both of them now, but afterwards I'm going to say is it one or the other, or are they both one and the same somehow? But like say it's you think something is really a download or something synchronistic that kind of activates you, and it's really not, or maybe it is one or it's the other. But if you still get that effect, like if it still changes your body, kind of like a placebo, like if it the placebo you take a sugar pill and you're taking something that you think is one thing, but it's really not. But it's still changing your body's physiology. Do you think that could be the same whenever it comes to like a synchronicity or download? Like you think you got
Yeah.
something, but it's really not. But your life is still whatever change your body is. I'm sorry, I know I rambled on, but you get what I'm saying
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah. I mean, whatever it takes, right? I mean, it is, I think it's your higher self interpreting things, trying to get the information to you, no matter no matter how they get it to you, however it comes to your, to the 3D here, that it doesn't matter how it gets to you. It's a matter of getting it to you, if that makes sense.
That makes
It doesn't
perfect
matter. It
sense.
doesn't matter how, but as long as you get it.
It makes perfect sense. I have this book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but it's a book that's literally called "You Are the Placebo." And there's a partner where he says something just like that, like your higher self, like kind of like intuition, like kind of trying to like help you in a way to I won't necessarily say seeing the future, but well yeah, like your intuition kind of like giving you the synchronicity. Or even there a theory in there like that maybe that's why synchronicities happen sometimes. And I'm going.
Yeah.
I need to stay off this subject because I can start talking for like an hour about just synchronicities. But yeah,
Well, yeah, that's a big thing, man. And and at least you're recognizing that. I've been noticing lately, this is really weird, right? I'll be listening to something on the computer or on a song, and I will look down and I'll be reading something, and the person that I'm listening to will say the exact word that my eyes are on. And that's been happening
yeah,
over and over again for the past like 2 weeks. And it's every single day. And it's like I'll be driving, I'll be listening to a song, and then I'll be looking at a word on a billboard, and that person will say the right when I look at that word, they say it on the radio. It's weird. Yeah.
right. I get you. I mean, I've been right there. That's happened to me before too. And I'm starting reading some of these things in the chat. Sunsaver said placebo comes from another person. Download comes from the cosmos itself. I want to say
Interesting.
real quick, and I want to hear what you say, but or I mean your thoughts on it. But if like, God, I cannot think of. I mean, all points of space time are connected, right? We're connected to every part of the universe. That's why I think that we're the fractal of the source or God or whatever you want to say. So, Sun Saver, that's what I was getting at earlier whenever I was saying maybe your intuition can give you a synchronicity in a certain type of way. Not every time, but like if it's really, say, like maybe you're desperate to save yourself in the back of your mind. So it's like like when me put my feet out the window. I think that's a perfect example. Like, like
Yeah.
what if that wasn't like a guardian angel? Maybe it was, but maybe it was just my intuition, like thinking like, holy shit, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like damn, I'm not gonna
That
say
was
that.
your
It's so
higher
cheesy.
self. Yeah. It was your higher
Um,
self. Like, hey, we got to protect you. I got to
I was about
protect
to
you.
say, I was about to say Spidey sense. That's so cheesy. God. Yeah, like the intuition type thing. Exactly. Um, yeah, I'm sorry, and I got so off the rails talking to you about that. Because I want to hear some more things about that God will burn up time. Your remote viewing, but also what the active field investigations that you've done. I don't know. Is there like I guess with either of them some just like profound experiences and things that you've done?
Yeah, well, I
Kind
mean,
of
with
things
the
also.
yeah, well, with the remote viewing, that's that I pretty much told you everything there is with remote viewing. I mean, we use remote viewing
Okay.
when we can use it out in the field, but it's more or less like now I use remote viewing in everyday life. It's a way to harness my brain power in a way.
Mhm.
You know, um, we're all capable of having. We all have enhanced human capabilities. Okay, we all have them. We're all psychic, and I'm always advocating to everyone to tap into it. Okay, because we need it now more than ever. And once you start tapping into it, you will start seeing synchronicities. You will start seeing numbers on the clock like 222, 555, 1111, 111. 1010. All the you start seeing stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just a matter of noticing the subtleties of like energy shifts in your environment and stuff like that. Just start paying attention. Um, quit drinking fluoridated water, everybody. Okay, you'll stop. Get a good water filter. Okay, and we are under attack. Our psychic abilities have been under attack for probably centuries. Okay, and it's time for everybody to kind of like get out of that and like wake up, because people who are more open and open-minded and their consciousnesses are able to expand are very less easily controlled. Okay, let's just put it that way. So I want, if everybody could just like I don't, my son doesn't use fluoride toothpaste. Okay, neither do I, because I just and we have a really good water filter at home. But it's stuff like that, small steps you can take to really open up that third eye. Okay, and I just think that that's something that we all need to be doing right now. And turn on, excuse me, your psychic abilities. So
And
yeah,
meditation. Um, I really need to try to get back into meditation. Um,
yeah,
done it briefly. I know there's benefits with it. I know it's something I need to be doing. Um, And real quick, I didn't mean to go back to this, but Sun Saver, I just reread that. That's exactly what you were saying. I get it now. You know that he knows we're connected to the cosmos. So I kind of misinterpreted that. Um, I forgot to ask you your opinion on it. Do you agree with what Sun Saver said with that? The
yeah. I mean, could be, yeah, could be. I don't know. I mean, some people say we are gods and stuff, So I don't know. I mean, that'd be make another person like I don't know. My It's deep. It's deep. I could go
I
deep
mean,
with
like,
that one.
yeah. And I kind of the segment I just started, the shifting paradigms. That's where I kind of get into more like the philosophical even spiritual, metaphysical type stuff, and kind of doing that now, to be honest, a little bit. But I feel like just like a fractal, like a tiny piece. Like I even think about in the Bible, it's always been my favorite, lines from the Bible. Luke 17:21 says, "The kingdom of heaven is not in one man or a group of men; it's within all of man." That's always stood out to me. And then I had that thought about us just being like a piece of the universe, and I had that
Yeah.
thought because somebody was trying to tell me about the Big Bang and why he believed it, and if it's kind of like one the same with that as well, because that means everything at the beginning was all compressed into one. So like no matter what, whenever it expands outwards, it's still all gonna be connected because it's compressed at the beginning. But I feel like something had to come before that. It's like what that conservation of energy, it can't be destroyed or created or turned to
Yeah.
another form of energy. And I'm sorry, I keep rambling on. I want to
Yeah.
ask you about reincarnation. Actually, that's kind of where I was going with that. Because it's not just destroyed; it can be destroyed or created, or turned to another form of energy. So I feel like that means like we had to come from something before we got here, and that means our conscious as well, right?
Yeah. I believe in reincarnation 100%. I know I've been here many, 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 many times. So yeah, I can't imagine. I don't know. I know it can be controversial to some people about reincarnation. Like I know a lot of very religious people may not believe in it, but I do. I actually know some of my past lives, so. No,
Yeah,
but
but
I think
what's
I've had a whole bunch of them. And I think a lot of people, especially people that are speaking out about stuff right now, I think a lot of us are very old souls, and have a lot of experience and and know better than to claim that we know anything. you know.
yeah,
Um,
I don't
yeah.
exactly. I just yeah, I feel like just the universe is God or source or whatever. And I didn't mean to get so deep into this subject, but the reincarnation stuff, I never believed in it before, but I had a past life regression from Barbara Jean Lindsay, and she like nailed it. To be honest, kind of it really blew my mind. But maybe it might not always be real for everybody. It might not be the same for everybody. Like what's what's
Yeah.
my reality and my reality after this life might not. I don't know. I need to lay off of that because I can go for an hour really talking about that. And like you said, that's controversial. It's better for the other
Well,
segment.
well, I've also had conversations with people about souls reincarnating, and like for some reason, what I've heard is like souls are not reincarnating at the rate that they usually do, and like there are earthbound spirits here in droves because people in our society have become so I don't know if this is right or not, but um there's a lot of souls that are so connected to material things right now, property, addictions, possessions, people, and whatever, that they're not crossing over and going to the light. Like they're earthbound, like they're stuck right now. And so that's another reason that everyone needs to like we need to start like waking up and getting back into connection with source and spirit, because because there's a lot of souls that are lost right now, and that, like I said, they're not going to the other side, and they're just attaching to people here on earth. And I don't know,
Like like what
it's like a
Sun
whole other
said.
topic. Yeah.
No, I totally follow you and agree. And I like the metaphor that Sun Saber just used. Keep, yeah, like with addiction. What you're saying, I think about like energy is something that you consume, whether it's like alcohol or food or
Yeah.
any kind of addiction, where it's addiction to like a person or a substance or food or like something that you do, you're getting energy one way or another from that. And I feel like it's because you feel like you're depleted one way and you need to make up for it by, going to something else. So, and we need to be getting like more natural energies, like you were talking about earlier, like being in nature, like we get energy from the sun and from being outdoors and the oxygen and just, being around nature. And, like you said, I could go on with this for hours, but, so are you saying that this materialistic part of the world and maybe like these things that have happened, there's like this energy that's here, and it's like a person's frequency gets kind of like stuck or lost and attached to that energy, and
Yeah.
that's what keeps them in this reality? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's people first of all becoming disconnected to the spirituality side of life, and getting and I'm not preaching or anything. I'm just observing, and I've had conversations with some pretty smart people about this stuff, and so it's just something that I think about it pretty often, because we think about how we're living in this 3D matrix reality where we're listening to songs on the radio that are about money and cars and clothes and what rhymes with clothes. So it's you know so but it's like sex and things like that, and drugs, and people are every song on the radio is about drinking stuff that make like drugs and smoking and doing whatever, like drinking drugs, what I'm talking about. But
Yeah,
you know it's our
it's a
kids
frequency. Yeah,
especially are and even me growing up, like I was it's pumped into us all the time in the media,
it's an
and with
echo. Um,
celebrities. And so
I saw.
we're losing our, I don't want to say morality or whatever, because I've had some fun in my days. I've had a lot of fun. My life's been amazing. I've had a good time. I hadn't always made the right decisions. I made some really dumb decisions, but I learned from it, and I'm a wiser person today because of it. I've hung out with the wrong crowd plenty of times. I've stayed up too late at night. I've been places I shouldn't have been. I've done things I shouldn't have done, but I gained a lot of wisdom from all that, from all those bad choices I made. And so there's it is what it is. But but I also know that there's something more. I know there's and I want to teach my son that as well. And I don't want to get stuck here. I don't want to be stuck wandering this earth when I'm dead. I want to go to the next level, and so that's about vibrating higher. It's about connecting to source, and it's about just being authentic and free and happy and trying to be positive and live a positive life, so, and not being connected. I actually have just gone through a time in my life where I just gotten a divorce over the past year or so. And my life went crumbling down all around me, and I lost just about everything. I mean, I also gained a lot. I gained myself back, that's for sure. But, sometimes in our lifetimes, we have to lose everything to appreciate what we have, and to claw your way back out of the hell that you get put through, and that makes you appreciate everything around you. And I feel like in some crazy way, all the craziness in this world right now is to bring us down to like the low point so that we can all like claw our ways back out. And it's awakening people. That's what like the Great Awakening is, right? It's like, wow, this world sucks. We got to change this now, or it's going to fail. We're going to all die, and it's going to be horrible, So
I should have gotten you on. I mean, I want to hear your story as well, but what you're talking about right now, where it's saying it's exactly what I'm doing with the shifting paradigm segment that I'm doing tomorrow with Chad Smith. And this is what we talk about, like just the shift that's happening in the world right now, and what it can mean and where it leads. And I want to say, everybody in the chat, everybody watches this later, nobody has all the answers. I know Jessica knows that. We're just theorizing here, and like we're all in this journey together. I don't want to offend anybody with anything I say, because I don't claim to have any. I know I don't know how the universe works. I'm just trying to figure things out. But
hey, it's all good. We're all learning though, and and you're putting it out there, and it's just if we don't put it out there, it is, like I said, it is what it is. That's my term. That's my phrase.
Southern accent came out quick. Because you spoke the truth. Yeah, I love it. I really want to get back into some more of your experiences, but I want to say real quick what you were talking about earlier, like with the music and like these frequencies. You said it's put out in like our kids. It made me think. It's all echoes. It's echoing out into reality and time, and I think that's like with everything. Whether it's a song. Literally, a song is literally a frequency. It's that sound wave. It trips me out to think that we're in these physical bodies, and we take our invisible conscious and we move these freaking meat flaps or vocal cords, whatever, and we make a sound come out that's a wave of. And I can speak to you right now on this device that's this phone, and you can hear me hundreds of miles away, and it's a frequency that you're picking up, and your brain is picking up that signal. I mean, it just I just think people take it for granted, how incredible really this reality is, and how much we take for granted.
And how we manifest everything, and we are our world is like ugly, and sometimes like I look at buildings right now too. I know, I'm sorry if I'm getting off topic with this, but I look at the architecture of the past, since the 1950s. It's just like prisons, like box, like concrete slabs, and like it's not like look back at like the Renaissance, or like the back in classical times. Everything was beautiful and just extravagant and gorgeous. And now it's like cookie cutter boxes of concrete and stuff, and it's not, it's like our reality is a reflection of like what is being
Exactly.
pumped into us, and so we've accepted that, and I don't accept that. Like, I want my world to be beautiful. Okay, we don't have to accept what we're being told is reality. We can create our own reality. Okay, and so we need to start creating beauty in this world. All right, I want everybody that's listening to this, if you're a creative, we're all creative people, but if you're super creative, start creating, do more art, make beautiful art, make beautiful music. Don't be, if you're rapping, don't be rapping about drugs and stuff all the time. Do some intelligent rap. Okay. Like, do something that's going
Yeah,
to lift up our
exactly.
kids. Okay. Don't be talking about how many girls you had sex with or whatever.
Bitches, money,
It doesn't
hoes,
matter. That stuff doesn't
yeah.
matter. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
exactly. The material stuff is not coming with us to
Yeah.
the next reality, and like the frequency you put out, you have the potential to make a positive, like an echo for the future. To like your children. I love what you
Yeah.
said, really do. And I'm a musician and an artist myself, by the way. I don't know if you are or
Oh, no.
not.
Cool.
I feel like you're one or the
Awesome.
other. Are you an artist or a musician?
I grew up singing, and yeah, I do, I'm an artist in my own way. Yeah. In a lot of ways, I'm very creative. I mean, I do a lot of creative things, and I always have. I mean, I grew up singing and acting and all that kind of stuff, and dancing. And, you know, I create every day. I create even like content creators on YouTube, like things that you're doing right now. It's
Yeah.
Facebook, social media influencers. We need more social media influencers that are positive, and putting out positive content, dancing, doing fun stuff. That's what we need right now in this world.
Right.
So, yeah, keep it
Yeah. So
colorful.
you're putting a piece of yourself out there. It's exactly
Yeah,
like you said, and anything can be an art. Really, I think if you got passion and
exactly.
drive in it, and you're putting it out there in a format where somebody else can experience it, and them have a reaction from it. I think anything can be an
Yeah,
art, whether it's your job or music or actual art or going to the gym or just raising your family, whatever. If you got passion and drive, it's art. It's I'm sorry. Uh, I want to say this interview did not go anything like the way I thought it was going to go, but I love it though. It's been
I hope it's
great.
good.
No, it's been awesome. I hope that people are listening and have been enjoying it. But I do want to try to get back on like some of these. I'm gonna have to have you on another time sometime. um, I have a question that I know I'm not gonna have time to answer. Ask you. Sorry. So you mentioned something earlier about you have more experiences whenever you're in the field, um, going without your equipment. Is
Mhm.
that correct?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah. Well, because I think that these things that are out there don't want to be recorded. I think a lot of times, hi, Terry. I think a lot of times when you're out there, I'm all about just experiencing. Okay. I'm not out to prove stuff to people. Okay. I've already gotten my answers. I know what I set out to do was to find out if Bigfoot was real. Okay. To find out if aliens are real. Yeah, y'all, they're real. Okay. They're real. I will go ahead and just tell you straight up, everything's real. Okay. It's all real. And so I got my answers. Now it's about experiencing it. Now it's about communicating. Now it's about putting myself in their environment, and seeing what comes of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not all about just recording. That's me personally. I'm not speaking for my teammates or anybody that I go in the woods with. But yeah, I just feel like there's more activity when there's no recording devices and no measuring tools. You know what I mean? No REM pods sitting out making noise. I think that disturbs their environment.
I
So
totally
yeah.
agree. Early on when I started seeing the orbs and I started accepting it, I learned about the C5, and every time I tried to go look for them, I never saw them. There's always when I'm not really expecting it, kind of just sorry. It's just like you said. It's like it would be right whenever I'm not expecting it, but it's always whenever I have a high energy, you know, positive vibe, I guess. And my
Yeah.
screen didn't come up or anything, did it? By the way, um, sorry, my phone just glitched for a second. Can you see me fine?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'll
can
make
see you.
sure. Is it? it messed up right about this time last night with Jim, and I don't want to jinx it, but you're talking about experiencing things. I think that's a great way to end it. 'Cause I wanted to spend like half of the interview talking about this, but can you tell me about like some of your like experience, like what's been the most, I guess, like real in your face, like the undeniable, like something physical maybe that you, or just something that you, I don't know, just something that was like so there, you could
Well,
feel it maybe in a physical way or see it.
yeah. Well, I mean, I can talk about all sorts of different things, but
Yeah,
as far as
go for
Bigfoot
it.
goes, I mean, I can talk about Bigfoot. I mean, I've never seen a Bigfoot face to face, and I've been in the field for 11 years. Okay. I've seen Bigfoots, but not up close. Okay. But I have had them throw rocks at my tent all night and acorns, and I've had them scream. And, it's always when we're at base camp. Okay. If you want to go experience Bigfoot, my recommendation is to go get a camp spot, go camp. Okay. Get some friends. Don't ever go by yourself. Get some people together in a group and just make a base camp and just stay at base camp all night and just hang out and act normal. Okay. Normal. Act normal. And, have a campfire and just hang out. Don't be blasting music and all that kind of stuff in the woods, but just be chilling and having fun and roasting marshmallows or do whatever. And they will be attracted to you and they will come into your base camp. And the most activity as far as like vocalizations and things like that go with Bigfoot is like when I'm in my tent, in my sleeping bag, and it'll be at night, and people start snoring around base camp, and that's when you start hearing the whoops and the whistles. Okay, that's when they start coming in. It's like when people start snoring, and they can hear it. And if you stay up and you can listen to that in the middle of the night through it till sunrise, you'll hear whoops and whistles where they're triangulating and they're surrounding base camp and stuff. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot. All I gotta do is just sit there and listen. You got to pay attention. And a lot of times people have experiences and it'll be Bigfoot and they miss it because people aren't paying attention. So it's just about
Um,
paying attention. Yeah.
that's that sounds still so new and unexperienced, or just I guess naive when it comes to all the Bigfoot stuff. I'm open to it. I'm starting to research it, and I wanted to ask because I just remembered we did get on here like 15 minutes late or something. I can't go too much past 2 hours, but are you okay going a little bit past 2 hours by any chance? Because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. A
not
little bit. I got to get my
okay.
son from school at 2:30. So
Okay. Um.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, I
you
meant
got
like
me till
10.
then. A little bit
I
before that,
mean,
actually.
I was thinking like maybe 10 or 15 minutes past two, but
Absolutely. I got 10 more minutes. How about that? Let's do 10
um,
minutes.
okay, okay. 10 minutes after two, let's say.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, that'd be good.
oh,
Totally.
okay. I was looking at the live time and not the actual time. Sorry. I've got 1:57 and our live time is 1:47. So that threw me off. Okay. Wow. So I've got like a choice I gotta make. I've got quite a few questions I still want to ask you. So like Bigfoot, like as far as the more peaceful ones and the aggressive ones, like what do you think is the what do you think the logic is behind that?
Well, I think it's just like they're like humans. Like we've got sweet, timid humans, and we've got a bunch of psychopath humans.
Oh,
So yeah, I think it's just like humans. Also, there's different types of Sasquatches, Bigfoots. There are dogmen. Okay, there's some that look like werewolves that are super aggressive and are like alpha types, and then we have some that are Bigfoots that look like Patty from that video that everybody's seen from the big black haired Bigfoot up in the northwestern part of our country. It's all different, but they're just there's different types of Bigfoot. There are different types of personalities. There are so I think that there's some that are like monkey brained, like very basic, looking for food types. And then there's some that are highly intelligent that, you know,
spiritual.
yeah, absolutely. I think they're just an ancient race of some sort of being, somewhere between a mix of like human and primate kind of. I mean, but more human,
That's
just
maybe just very
giants.
and they're very in tune with their spiritual nature, or some of them at
Yeah.
least, or especially the ones that if they can really do things like phase out of reality or materialize or go through portals or whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
I think about things like this. Have you ever heard of Bigfoot being inside of UFOs? Because Preston didn't mention that to me, and I
Yeah.
thought that was really really bonkers. But I want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah. I've not heard of them being inside of a UFO, but I do know that there's some kind of connection there. And so a lot of times, like, and that kind of goes back also to like the orbs, like what are orbs? Because
Right.
there are a lot of times when we're having Bigfoot type activity in the woods, there are orbs. And so are those aliens? I don't
Right.
know. It just depends. But there is a connection between Bigfoot and aliens. Not always. I mean, you know, but a lot of times in my experience, I've experienced like the whole Bigfoot alien thing together.
Yeah,
They're in the
you're not the
vicinity.
first person. uh, I was to say you're not the first person at all that's told me that. I went on a Pork and Beans podcast, and they told me something. He said he saw Sasquatch go into the bush, and when he went to go try to take pictures of it, all he got was a bunch of orbs coming out the bush. And I'm like, what in the
Yeah.
world? Like, did it turn into it? Are the orbs like a scouting device the alien UFO just used to like abduct the freaking Bigfoot or something? Like what's going on? Oh, it's just bizarre. But I've seen orbs materialize and dematerialize, so I know that there's some truth behind all this. You mentioned Dogman earlier. God, I hate
Mhm.
we're tight on time now. I got a lot of stuff I want to ask. Do you believe there's a connection between Dogman and Bigfoot? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah. I think that
Explain
well,
that to me.
I think it's kind of a similar phenomenon. I think it is like a Bigfoot. It's like a snouted Bigfoot, but they're more aggressive. And
Okay.
I mean, there's a whole organization called the North American Dogman Project, that just
Yeah.
is specifically for dogmen
Yeah.
research, okay, and for reports. And as a matter of fact, we have a dogman that's repeatedly reported in the county that I live in here in Georgia. And so BFRO has filed a report on it and everything. I mean, this goes way back, a few years ago, at least. It's been a while. So yeah, they're like a werewolf. They look like werewolves, kind of.
Like them.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
bizarre. I mean, I didn't think about them being like so they're kind of like cousins to each other. Like one's the I don't know,
I
one's
mean,
the
I
more
think that they
feminine,
are. Yeah, I think that
or
they're
maybe
just
I'm
Bigfoots, but just like I don't. But we don't know. I mean, there's bat
yeah.
squatch,
mm,
goat squatch,
uh,
dogmen. Yeah,
Let me write that down. Bat
yeah.
Squatch. Is that what you
Bats.
said?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Look up Mount St. Helens bat squatch. It's like
That's
a bat
new.
winged Sasquatch. Yeah. It was reported, I think it was in the 1980s in Mount St. Helens area
that,
in Washington.
that
Yeah.
that's new to me. You
Yeah,
said something
it's
about
wild.
goat. I've heard like Goat Man. Is that what you're talking about, or the other one?
Goat squatch, not goat man.
Are these like some chimera type things, or the
Yeah.
aliens just doing experiments on them?
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna
look,
look it up. I mean,
well, it's like a chimera. Would look back at the, ancient Egyptian times.
okay,
The gods were half human, half animal.
I'm
So
glad you.
mm,
Sorry, my lag is messing up. I was gonna say
Anubis.
I'm
What was
glad that
Anubis?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're into mythology and that you know what chimera is. Because as soon as I said that, I'm like, I need to, stop saying some of these words. But we're on a similar frequency. I love it. Um.
Yeah.
So. God, I hate that we're so tight on time. We're getting like good stuff now. I should have been paying attention earlier. But no, we had a great conversation though. I've enjoyed this. I hope everybody watching has enjoyed it
I'm
too.
enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So. What about Mothman? Have you ever had any experience with that or
I
met
do
anybody
not
around
have
there?
experience with Mothman. I don't know if we got any Mothman down here in Georgia.
That's
But
what
I
I
mean, we
thought.
probably do. I don't know. But no, I don't. I have not seen a flying Mothman before. We got some big moths down here though.
Yeah, we do. There's actually a guy, Chad, or anybody that saw me on New Year's on Paranormal Chop Shop. They're probably laughing their ass off right now. I'll tell you next time because I don't have, I had a little bit too much fun. But yeah, definitely. So like when it comes to like these cryptids and stuff, because I'm new to all this, but this I'm really new into, and I I stay open minded about everything, but I always keep a little bit of skepticism. Like
Mhm.
just because you know we none of us know if we have things right, and that's why I tell everybody in the chat. Like I'm not saying I'm 100% correct about anything, but there's God, which I'm sorry, I'm looking through these questions, to pick and choose right now because I can't get to them all. Um,
We'll do it. We'll do a
oh,
part two
okay.
one day. We'll do a part two.
I would, I would love to do that. Or I was gonna say I can have you on for the shifting paradigms thing, which that's usually
Yeah.
only an hour. It's usually an hour. I just started, maybe a little bit more though. I'm not sure because I just got it going. I'd love to get you on there, but a lot of what I do on there, we kind of already did today. To be honest, it's kind of been a combination. Um, so
Yeah.
here's a good question. Actually, I'm so sorry, you guys in the chat. I've been ignoring all y'all. Does anybody in the chat have any questions that they want to ask her before we get off? I've been selfish over here, asking up all the questions, talking about myself and asking Jessica Jones.
It's
Um,
all good. You know what? You guys should definitely look up pictures of the bat squatch. It's pretty funny.
oh yeah, I'm gonna do that as soon as we get done here.
Definitely do
Because that,
that.
as soon as you said that, I was like, what? As sounds like I pictured the cover of the Meatloaf album or the Bat Out of Hell or whatever. I don't know. God, rest in peace. Didn't he just die? Um,
Oh,
yeah, sorry guys in chat. I'm sure I missed so many questions. I haven't been paying attention to the chat. This was excellent. I'm so grateful I caught this live. Very happy to have met Jessica today. Appreciate your time and you both. Yeah, and she was just on Spaced Out Radio. When was it? Last
thank you.
weekend? Um,
Monday night.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I had
I
a good
got
time,
introduced.
man. That was a blast.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced to you. I only seen like the last half of it. Then I went back and watched most of the first half. So I have a quick question for you. And if anybody's got any questions, throw them in the chat really quick before we get off. Um, so have you ever? Well, first, Terry Brown, thanks, Jessica. I appreciate you spending your time talking with all of us. Yeah, it's been so awesome.
Thank you guys. Well, thank you all. I appreciate being on today. This is fun.
I'm gonna try to get this one last question in here.
Okay.
Um, and I'm trying to pay attention to the chat too in case they do. But have you ever remote viewed an entity or cryptid or any kind of paranormal entity? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why we do remote viewing, or why we were taught it was because of the whole ET experience. So yes, I have remote viewed quite a few things. I've done hundreds of targets, probably. Yeah. So I have, and like I said, yes, these things are real, you guys. So that's all. I can't get into detail with a lot of the stuff. We don't disclose our remote viewing targets usually, and stuff because we're doing some interesting remote viewing. So yeah, but I have definitely remote viewed some interesting things, including the black cube and all that stuff. We've remote viewed all of that. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool
Justin, but
stuff.
yeah, it's definitely real people. I haven't had nearly as much experiences as her, but I've seen some orbs. I've seen a shadow figure too. I wish I had time to bring that up with you. Well, I mean, real quick, can you answer that? Have you had experiences with shadow figures?
I've seen them before. Yeah, it's creepy. I don't like shadow figures. They're kind of dark, literally.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
I've seen
gonna
them. Yeah.
so did it approach you or anything? Like how was your feeling from it? Like what'd you feel? I literally feel. I
Um,
mean,
I have a lot of creeper kind of things in the past. Peeking around stuff and looking and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Thank you, Enzo. I see your comment. That's very sweet of you.
mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I lived in a haunted house where I had a lot of dark, shadowy figures and things like that. So yeah, it's scary. Black masses like floating through the air, like black orbs of stuff, and like they were actually like like hurt me, like push me down physically before, like stuff like that. I've had that happen. Yeah, it was like really creepy.
Wow. I'm gonna share something with you really quick that I've never told anybody in my entire life. Because you said that, and I just remembered I asked you actually whenever you're on Spaced Out Radio through the chat if you'd ever remote viewed and had something try to assault you or come at you while
Hmm.
you're remote viewing. And I barely slept last night, and my mind's on overload. But so I had experience when I was a little kid. I never told anybody about this because I don't know if what I think happened really happened. But one of my best friends, I was like in middle school. I was like seventh or eighth grade, and his mom was a full-blooded Native American, very into I mean, she used to like burn sage and stuff, and had dream catchers everywhere, which my mother does too. But I mean, this lady's like full-blooded, dark skin, and they used to always tell me that weird stuff would happen in their house. And back then, even as a kid, I was kind of skeptical, but I thought like, what if? Well, one day, like right whenever I'm walking out their house, I swear it felt like something like pulled my hair for a split second, and like it freaked me out so bad. Like I can't believe I'm telling you this right now because I've never told anybody this. It felt physical. It felt like something like grabbed. And at the
Hmm.
time I was in middle school, I was like a rocker and I was growing out my hair really really long, but it felt like something just grabbed my hair and tugged it for a split second. And
Hmm. They do
I
that.
don't know. That's
Yeah.
like why do you think like
Because
is
there,
it
it depends on what kind of, I mean, it's just like if it's a spirit, it's just like a regular person, just in a different form, you know?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, do you, I know that's something you gotta be a lot more specific, and we don't have time for it. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you think things get like latched onto a specific area for a reason, like because trauma, like that?
Yeah.
I asked about this last night, like a residual energy, and that's kind of why something stuck there or something.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I had some attachments back when I was in my 20s when I was out partying all the time. I was out going to clubs and stuff, and drinking too much and doing crazy things. And yeah, when you have that emotional, I don't know, I can't say like why I was partying so hard. So maybe I was trying to escape thoughts of things that had happened to me in the past. I don't know, but there was an unhealed part of me, that those attachments were interested in. And so that's why they latched onto me. And so that's why we all need to be healthy, and and just try to be positive and high vibe, as high as you can. High vibe, not get high. Be high
Yeah.
vibe, okay?
Yeah. So high
Yeah.
vibes, trippy time. Definitely agree. I know
Okay.
we gotta, I know we can making me crack up now. Um, I really hope that you enjoyed this chat because I really enjoyed it. It flew by. It's the question from Enzo right here, real quick.
No, we don't run. No, we don't run. We've never been chased out of anywhere. Even at my scariest moments, we stand our ground. No, there's nothing out there that's
Oh,
more powerful than any of us. So, yeah.
awesome. See, guys, she really is a superhero. I was joking earlier about it. That's what you got to do. Anybody see a shadow figure or entity or a bat squatch, you stand your ground. Like keep the
Stand your
frequency up.
ground. Hey, you're stronger than that thing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's all about having your mind right. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your
No,
mind
I've
right.
never
And
been chased out. But we do find occasionally like an abandoned campsite where people have abandoned their camp in the middle of the night and never went back to get their stuff. So free gear. I'm just kidding.
um,
Yeah.
Nightmare just points out. I need to. I'm figuring this out, guys. I need to get the link. I need to get all this down. I'm just figuring out StreamYard and all this stuff. Um, I, I I love this chat. I definitely need to get your return back on here. Go through
Well,
Josh's
thank you.
profile and look in his out in his channel Nightmare. What are they asking for right now? Sorry.
They won't,
Oh,
yeah.
space.
Your social
I
media
have
stuff,
you.
probably.
Um, oh, mine. They should just be able to click my channel. My username and go to my channel and find this video. It's on the playlist. It says Trippy Times Podcast. But your social links they should be in the description on my
Yeah.
YouTube
Well,
page.
I can tell you guys, go for mine. It's I'm at Oracle of the South. Okay. That's on Facebook. YouTube and Instagram and Gab and Rumble and all that stuff. I'm on all sorts of social media. My show is Into the Portal. On Instagram, it's Into the Portal _Jessica. And also I've got a shop. If you guys want to support any of my show and all the stuff that I do, it's War Woman Goods. It's on Etsy and on Instagram. So yeah, y'all go give me a follow. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be great.
Yeah, and I've got all of your links. Nightmare, are you talking about this particular video? I'm a little confused. You said there's nothing on there. Because I definitely got a channel with people. Everybody, if you just click my username, sometimes when I first upload a video, it's like an hour or two delay. Like this particular video might not show up until like later on today or maybe tonight on my. But if you click the actual playlist, it'll pop up. I don't know why. I think I just need to upgrade StreamYard. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out. I'm sorry. I'm still getting the hang of this, but thank you everybody. Thank you, Jessica Jones. It's been such an awesome interview.
Thank you.
Yes.
Man, thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Fox, you are hardcore. I love it. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to figure out the link thing too. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. If check out the description and you can see her store, all of her websites, all her social media stuff. Jessica Jones, sorry I was late earlier, and it's been great. I've loved this talk. I definitely love to get you back on here another time or on the other segment as well.
Sounds good. I'm always game. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Everybody in chat, thanks. Tomorrow, Chad Smith, Chad Smith, everybody. We are all Chad Smith. Everybody knows it. He's going to be on at 2 p.m. Eastern. I've got Kathleen Martin, the freaking grandniece of Betty and Barney Hill. It's epic. I can't believe it. It's surreal. I'm so humble. She's coming on the 22nd, and got some other surprise guests lined up. But thank you so much. I'll catch you guys later. I know you got to go.
Bye, y'all. Bye, thank you.
Well.